What up, YouTube? It's Knowledge of Self-Determination. Back with you guys with some more boxing. So I want to talk about the Errol Spence and Kell Brook fight. Just real quick, I just want to give my take on the fight and what I think will happen. Giving credit to both fighters for the things that they have accomplished in the ring and their boxing ability and skill level. With that said, I think that Errol Spence is going to win this fight. I think Errol Spence can win by stoppage. I think he can win by stoppage. Um, but I think he will perform well enough to where as though even in the UK, even in Kell Brook's home on Kell Brook's home turf, he can at least win by a unanimous decision. If he does not get the stoppage, I think he can win at least by a unanimous decision. I'm not necessarily counting Kell Brook out because Kell Brook is a good fighter. He's tough. We didn't get to see how tough he was because he said that he had an eye injury. I'm not saying that he didn't have an eye injury. However, I don't know. If he said he hurt his eye, oh, pardon me. If he said he hurt his eye, then he hurt his eye, But that's neither here nor there. Now, the way I see this fight pretty much playing out, I see Kell Brook using a lot of lateral movement in the early stages of the fight. I see him staying away from Errol Spence and trying to basically like the first few rounds of a fight normally goes. You test each other out, you gauge your range and your distance, you throw your feints to see what they will or will not bite on, and so on and so forth. A lot of those things won't work with Errol Spence because Errol Spence doesn't bite on a lot of feints. You see fighters try to feint Errol Spence a lot. And when that happens, Errol Spence usually, what he does, whatever he's planning on doing to you while he's stalking you and cutting off the ring, for the most part, when you throw feints at Errol Spence, the most he does is he keeps coming forward, but he'll just put his hands up. His hands will go from just below his eyes, from like kind of like nose level to a high guard, which is like up by his brow, you know. But he'll keep pressing forward, and even with that, because he has such quick reflexes, even if he's coming forward and you're feinting shots, he'll throw his guard up, but he'll instantly start throwing punches. Like he'll still throw that jab, he'll still throw a hook, So feigning isn't necessarily going to help you a whole lot with Errol Spence. However, I think feigning will do a lot for Errol Spence against Kell Brook, simply because of Errol Spence's reputation preceding him. I think he has a distinct mental advantage right now over Kell Brook. With Kell Brook doing all that he could to try and actually avoid the fight, not fight him. I think Errol Spence has a mental advantage. So I think that Errol Spence feigning Kell Brook a lot is going to help open Kell Brook up and help Errol Spence land a lot of good punches. Kell Brook is a lot stronger than people think. I think he's a lot tougher than people give him credit for. He works behind his jab well, and he is really good at luring you in because he can fight off the back foot. And if you get kind of lulled to sleep by that jab and just follow him around the ring, he's going to hit you with something really nasty. Like he will walk you into an uppercut like he did Gennady Golovkin. He walked Gennady Golovkin into a number of uppercuts. And because he kept pumping that jab, Kell Brook was able to catch Gennady Golovkin with a lot of hooks from that mid-range distance. Even though Gennady Golovkin has the longer arms and he's more of the mid-range fighter, Kell Brook was able to catch him with a lot of those hooks. And it's not because, well, he's a better boxer than Gennady Golovkin, but it was also the distance that he gave himself. Even though they were mid-range punches, Kell Brook, he leaned into them so that he could defensively pull back and avoid counter shots from Gennady Golovkin, which he was able to do well. Errol Spence does that same thing. He doesn't, excuse me, he does not overcommit when it comes to working on the inside or throwing punches that you need to be in a certain range to throw, like hooks and uppercuts. He doesn't allow himself to get caught out there. Like he won't leap in with a hook or leap in with an uppercut. He spaces his legs well enough to where as though he can, while keeping his pivot foot stationary, he'll come in close on the front leg and throw that, do that work and then step back out, or give you that little half step back. He does a lot of things well. Kell Brook does does similar things in the ring as well, except that Errol Spence is a pressure fighter. He is a pressure fighter. His defense is a lot better than people think. His defense is way better than Gennady Golovkin's, which is going to cause another problem for Kell Brook. Because if Errol Spence is blocking punches, um, or parrying punches, which can throw you off balance if you're not throwing the punches right. Errol Spence also does real well catching and shooting. He catches punches and He catches and shoots real well, and he has those fast twitch reflexes. So even in heated exchanges, he's not going to do like a Gennady Golovkin, um, and wait until you're finished with those punches and then come at you. No, you're going to be in an exchange with Errol Spence, and the whole time you're in that exchange, he's thinking about what he's going to do 2 and 3 punches ahead. So as soon as you start to back away from the exchange, Errol Spence already knows the next punch he's going to throw to catch you with and drop you, like he did in exchange with Chris Algieri. They kind of exchanged in the middle of the ring. It kind of went towards the rope, and as Chris Algieri was backing away, Errol Spence had already set up that what was it, a counter left that he threw that actually dropped Chris Algieri. And again, that's another thing. His good punch placement, just like Gennady Golovkin. Errol Spence has really good punch placement. He catches you in the face. He's going to catch you on the chin. He's going to catch you on the sweet spot a lot of times. He dropped Chris Algieri twice before he finished the fight, before he stopped him. With single shots, mind you, with single shots. If Kell Brook's orbital bone is compromised, this probably is not the guy you want to be in the ring with, because his hooks are vicious, and he's going to catch Kell Brook on that socket where it was fractured in the Gennady Golovkin fight. He could suffer severe permanent damage in that fight, depending on the extent of the fracture itself and how well it's healed. But Kell Brook is going to want to watch out for that. Errol Spence does have one punch power. I haven't seen him stop anybody with one single punch, but I've seen him drop and hurt fighters badly with one single punch. So that is a huge credit to him. He can hurt you with a single shot. He can change the complexity of the fight with a single shot. But Kell Brook can too. But the question is, can Kell Brook hit Errol Spence with enough power to make Errol Spence change up his game plan or deter Errol Spence? That is yet to be seen. Errol Spence is going to have to stay vigilant. He's going to have to keep his guard up, because Kell Brook has fast hands. He will give you a lot of lateral movement. He will bait you in with his jab, because he can fight off of the back foot, and he is a good counterpuncher. He will walk you into right hands, and he will walk you into that uppercut. And you get into exchanges. Kell Brook is good at placing his punches well. He will hit you with hooks, especially if you hold a high guard. He knows how to punch around the guard. Both of these guys do really good work in the ring. I just think that at the end of the day, Errol Spence takes the fight, because I think that he mentally he's there. In my opinion, Kell Brook lost the fight already, because of all the mental gymnastics he's been doing. I don't know if he was doing those things to try and get under Errol Spence's skin, which didn't work. I don't know if he was doing these things because I have no idea. But what I think he was doing stuff not because he's afraid of Errol Spence the man, but because he's afraid to lose his title to Errol Spence, and he's just afraid to lose to Errol Spence, period. He's afraid to lose to Errol Spence. But with all of those different tactics that he used, to me, that was a sign of mental weakness, and he's already lost the fight. I mean, he's already running from the fight before the fight even happens. And in my opinion, he's going to do the same thing in the ring. He's going to run from the confrontation. He's going to run from the fight. I mean, not using footwork and lateral movement like some decabs like to use, say is running. No, not in that sense. I mean, not avoiding punches, but not wanting to be in there and mix it up in the first place. At least that's what I see. I think he mentally has already lost the fight. But that's my opinion. But anyway, back to what both of these guys do well and do not do well. Errol Spence's defense has improved immensely. He doesn't have the bad habit that most fighters do of keeping both his hands low and dropping them. He's a southpaw, so Errol Spence is really good at getting back on defense. He throws his punches, and just like a good trainer or coach will teach you, you throw your punch, you bring that, you throw your jab, you bring that jab hand back to your chin before you let that counter right go. You do not leave your chin unprotected. You throw a punch, you bring that punch back, and then throw the next punch. Errol Spence is really good at that. And sometimes he may even keep his right hand low, but he keeps that left hand to his chin for the most part. So he's always on defense, and he does a lot of really good subtle things on defense too. That from what I noticed, a lot of people haven't noticed, because I have yet to hear a lot of people actually talk about it. There are people who do, but there are quite a few people who don't bring up the fact that he does those really good technically sound things on defense, like parrying punches. He catches and shoots really well. He'll stuff punches really well. He does a lot of things defensively that get overlooked. He bobs and weaves punches really well. He slips punches really well. So again, that's what I see. And Kell Brook, he has the ability to do all of those things as well. He does have that ability to make you miss, to stay on his defense. It's just that, again, I just don't think mentally Kell Brook is there. I think mentally he wants to just get over with it. He just wants it to be over with already, I think. But again, that's all speculation on my part. But in the end, I see it being a unanimous decision or a late round stoppage by Errol Spence. If Kell Brook allows himself to linger on the ropes, he's finished. Errol Spence is going to pick him apart. He's going to pick him apart. He does really good work on the ropes. He doesn't get too overzealous or overconfident on the ropes. He throws his barrage of punches, and he'll step back, and sometimes it's at the right time too. He steps back to avoid counter shots and things like that. He'll actually allow you the opportunity to get off of the ropes, once he steps back, depending on how hurt he has you. But if you stay there, he's going to jump back in. But if you take that opportunity and try to roll off the ropes like Chris Algieri did, then you can do that. And he'll continue to cut off the ring and, get you, and basically get your back up against the wall. But if you get caught in that corner, I don't know. Kell Brook is going to have to do some pretty good defensive tactics, or use some really good defensive tactics if he gets trapped in the corner with Errol Spence. Because if not, his night is over in the corner. If he gets stuck in the corner with Errol Spence, his night is over. But again, I have to stress this though. Kell Brook is not a chump. Kell Brook does a lot of good things and a lot of things well. And if Errol Spence gets too cocky and too overly confident, Kell Brook is going to catch him with something, and it could mess up Errol Spence's entire night. But for right now, that's all I have. We have until May the 20th, so I may even do another video on this. I may watch even more fights from those guys to see what other little things that I probably didn't catch in this video. But those are my thoughts so far on this particular fight. I see both guys doing really good work, but at the end of the day, I see Errol Spence walking away with the victory, and simply because of Errol Spence's will, his technical ability, the fact that he's fundamentally sound, the fact that he is a defensively minded fighter, and because I think Kell Brook lost the fight already, in my opinion, with trying to look around Errol Spence, trying to get other fights, and trying to say Errol Spence is a nobody. All of those tactics to me screams weakness. It screams, I don't really want to fight this guy. So that's my take on this. That's my take on the fight so far. Like I said, we have until May, so I may do another video on this. But that is yet to be seen. I'm gonna watch some more film and see if I feel like doing another video. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I already know that a lot of Kell Brook fans out there think that Errol Spence doesn't stand a chance. But again, you could be wrong, and so could I. Now that it's self-determination, I'm out. Peace.